You are still paying for things you thought you already paid for. Not loans, not mistakes, 7 ordinary purchases that keep charging you for years after the deal is done. You buy a car for $40,000. Feels like that's the price. Paid, done. But here's the number they don't print on the sticker. In the United States, the American Automobile Association put a number on it. Just owning and driving a new car runs almost $11,600 a year on average. Each one takes more than you thought. And here's how to pay less on everyone. Start with the car. That sticker is the smallest part of what it takes from you. The biggest piece isn't gas, it's depreciation. The car loses value just sitting in your driveway, a real chunk in the first year alone. AA calls depreciation the single largest cost of a new car, more than fuel, insurance, or repairs. Then interest. Almost nobody pays cash, so you pay back $40,000 plus interest on top. And early on, it loses value faster than you pay the loan down. So for a while, you owe more than it's worth. Add insurance, fuel, service, tires, registration, and taxes. And there's your $11,000 plus a year. I'm not saying don't buy a car. You've got to get around. Pay less by letting someone else eat that first year of depreciation, the part you don't control. Buy a car 2 or 3 years old, past the steepest drop, and keep it about 10. And compare the total cost over that whole stretch. Not the monthly payment. Stretch the term, and they'll sell you anything on a payment. Now, something cheaper than a car, but it hits you far more often. Ordering food in an app. You build a $15 cart, hit checkout, and it's $22. Next time, $29. Same food. Where did the rest come from? First thought, that's delivery. That's the misdirection. Delivery is the smallest fee shown first, so you stop counting. Then comes the stack. A markup on the menu itself because the restaurant is paying the app a commission for access to you. A service fee for using the app separate from the food. A small order fee if you order too little. The delivery. And a tip on top. 5 separate lines on one dinner. And this is on the record. In the United States, the trade regulator, the FTC, and the Illinois Attorney General settled with Grubhub. $25 million over misleading delivery pricing. Not cooking every night is fine, just pay less for it. Grab it yourself and most of the stack falls off. Order straight from the restaurant and you cut a middleman. The app wants a habit. You want a choice. Now the biggest purchase in most people's lives, your first home. Everybody looks at 2 numbers, the down payment and the monthly mortgage. But the payment isn't the whole bill, and the down payment isn't the whole purchase. Take the official list of what buying a home involves. In the UK, the government's own site spells it out. On top of the mortgage, taxes, a survey, a solicitor, fees to arrange the loan and register it. And once you're in, council tax, heating, water, insurance. So a home takes your money in 3 waves. Once up front, in fees and taxes. Every month in payment plus upkeep, and quietly in the background, money locked inside those walls working nowhere else. And I won't lie to you, I'm not saying renting always beats buying. So before you sign, add up the full monthly bill, not the payment. A lot of the time, that's the number that shows what you can actually afford. And sometimes renting and investing the difference comes out ahead. But here's the catch. A car and a house you agonize over for months. The biggest leak in a normal budget isn't there. It's in the small stuff you set up once and forgot. Here are 3. First, the phone you swap out every year. Strange if you think about it. The one you've got works. It calls, it shoots, it opens all the same stuff. But every year a new one lands and yours starts to feel not quite it. That feeling is sold to you. Marketing turns a tiny improvement into a new generation. So you replace a thing that works, reality check. In the EU, since June 2025, smartphone rules changed. The maker has to keep the battery good for at least 800 charge cycles at 80% capacity and supply spare parts for 7 years after a model stops selling. The European Commission expects the average phone's life to climb from about 3 years to just over 4. Translation? A phone is built to last years. Swapping it every year isn't wear and tear. It's a calendar the companies hand you. And it's not just the phone. The same calendar is strapped to all your tech. The laptop, the tablet, a smartwatch like an Apple Watch, the headphones, the console. One rule for the whole shelf: replace it when the old one actually gets in your way, not when a new one drops. One skipped upgrade isn't one purchase saved. It's stepping off the whole treadmill across several devices at once. Second small thing that stopped being small: subscriptions. Cable used to be the villain. One fat bill for channels you never watched, everyone left for streaming. Cheap. Only what you want. Now the funny part, a show here, sports there, something for the kids, music, a photo cloud, plus one you added for a single movie. Separately, all cheap. Together, you've rebuilt the exact cable bill, now scattered across 6 lines, none of which you track. One quiet mechanism holds it in place. Auto renew. The trial ends and the money keeps leaving until you cancel it yourself. The system makes forgetting expensive and remembering your job. Pay less. Once write out every recurring charge on your card for a month. You'll almost certainly find 1, 2, 3 you forgot. Cancel what you don't use. That's not a one-time couple of bucks. It's a hole you close every month after. Third, and the one that stings, because here you're overpaying for loyalty itself. Car insurance, home, phone plan, internet. Picked once, they auto-debit, and year after year you just renew. Feels like loyalty should pay off. It's the opposite. Your price quietly drifts up at renewal, and the best deals go to new customers. The same coverage or the same internet speed is cheaper more often than you'd think, either at another company or at your own next year, but only for whoever asks. And this is in the regulator's own rules. In the UK, since 2022, the regulator, the FCA, stepped in. They banned charging a renewing customer more than a new one for the same policy. The trick was called price walking, and it took a law to kill it. And over 20 million people there are out of contract. They could save around £100 a year on broadband alone. That tells you how common it is. Pay less. The easiest one here. Once a year before renewal, spend 20 minutes. Get a quote for the same coverage or speed at a couple of other places. You're not switching anything, just looking. Your current contract probably isn't the best on the market anymore, and you can fix that. Now, the one people argue with me about most, branded stuff. 2 nearly identical things. One costs several times more. And part of that gap isn't the material, the quality, or the warranty, it's paying so other people can see the logo. Fair up front, not every brand is a scam. Sometimes you're paying for genuinely better quality, a real warranty, the fit, a service that bails you out. The question only shows up where the extra money mostly buys visibility. And that's not a hunch. A Journal of Marketing Studies showed it on real data. The more visible the logo, the more people pay for the signal to everyone else. For status, not the product itself. So here's a test at the register. One question. If literally nobody would ever see this thing, would you still pay extra for this exact version? If yes, go ahead. You want the thing, not its logo. If you hesitated, you just found what they're really charging you for, your ego. And not one of these 7 is something to stop buying. It's all just normal adult life. The trap is that you agreed to each of those numbers once and never looked again. After that, it charges you, it renews, it ticks along on its own year after year, and nobody rechecks it for you because it pays no one but you. So it comes down to one habit. Once a year, open every recurring cost and recheck it. Pick the date now, put it in your calendar. That is the whole system. 20 minutes a year. And almost every one of these 7 starts taking less. If this helped you see where your money's actually going, hit like and subscribe. I break down stuff like this every week. See you in the next one.